We often think that the most important moments in our lives are those filled with loud declarations, grand gestures, life-changing talks. But honestly, that's just not true. Sometimes the smallest, quietest moments can make the biggest impact. Just think about the times when a simple look, a shared glance, or a moment of silence spoke volumes. Yeah, those moments are like stars, scattered in the vastness of our lives, twinkling, guiding us, reminding us of the beauty of human connection. And today's story is just like that. It's about finding profound meaning in the ordinary, about recognizing that sometimes life's most significant lessons come from the quietest corners and most unexpected sources. So grab a cup of tea or whatever you drink, sit back, and let's dive into the tale of a man and his peculiar yet profoundly impacting neighbor. Let's begin. There once was a man living in a cozy apartment in a quiet neighborhood. He was a writer, a dreamer, always lost in his stories and ideas. His days were filled with the tap-tap-tap of his keyboard and nights with the murmur of late-night conversations over steaming cups of coffee. Despite living in the heart of a bustling city, he was rather secluded. His closest interaction with his neighbors were forced pleasantries and hurried greetings. He was too engrossed in his fictional worlds to truly connect with the real one around him. Then one day, everything changed. As the sun began its daily ascent, he noticed a new sight on his usually peaceful street. An elderly woman with a weathered face and gentle eyes stood on her porch sweeping. She was dressed in a worn cardigan and a faded headscarf, her hair a mess of silver curls escaping its confines. Her movements were slow and rhythmic as she swept, her brow furrowed in concentration, oblivious to the world around her. At first, it was just a daily curiosity, a new face in an otherwise predictable landscape. But as days turned into weeks, this scene became a ritual. Every morning at the exact stroke of 6 a.m., she would appear on her porch, broom in hand, ready to greet the day. He watched her become a fixture of his mornings, her quiet routine a soothing melody in the symphony of the city. What baffled him was her apparent detachment from the world. She never greeted anyone passing by. She didn't even seem to notice them. She existed in her own world, a world where the only sound was the whisper of leaves under her broom and the distant hum of the city. It was strange, yet oddly comforting, like a beacon of serenity in the chaos of their lives. He found himself inexplicably drawn to her quiet strength, wondering about the life that had led her to this point. The stories etched in the lines on her face and the dreams that danced in her distant eyes. As days turned into weeks, he began to anticipate her appearance. The city might have roared outside, but her porch was an island of tranquility. He would sit on his windowsill, a steaming mug of coffee in hand, just watching her. In her presence, the noisy city faded away. The cacophony of car horns and construction drills muted to a dull roar. The only sound that mattered was the soft whisper of her broom against the pavement. He started to look forward to these moments, the stolen minutes of peace that she unknowingly offered him. It was a stolen moment of solace. Her dedication to her ritual was a stark contrast to his own chaotic existence. He was a man perpetually caught in the whirlwind of creativity and deadlines, always chasing the next big idea or the next story to write. Yet here she was, finding peace in the mundane, beauty in the ordinary. And so he began to observe her more closely. He noticed the way her shoulders would relax after each sweeping session, the faint smile that would touch her lips, the deep breath she would take, her eyes closed, savoring the moment. He saw a tranquility in her that he yearned for, a sense of peace that seemed elusive in his life. The turning point came on a particularly dreary day. The city was in one of its infamous rain-lashed moods. The sky was a canvas of gray, mirroring the bleak mood he was in. He was stuck on his latest story, the words refusing to come. No matter how much he coaxed them, his usually fertile imagination was a barren wasteland of ideas. Discouraged and frustrated, he slumped into a chair, staring out into the relentless rain. That's when he saw her. She was on her porch, of course, but instead of her usual calm, he saw a struggle in her movements. The wind was whipping her hair into a frenzy, threatening to snatch her fragile frame from its moorings. But she held firm, her broom a shield against the elements, her resolve unwavering. Despite the fury of the storm, she continued her silent vigil, finding strength in the simplest of tasks. In that moment, he realized he had been wrong. Her routine wasn't just a quirky habit. It was a testament to resilience, a silent battle against the chaos of the world. Her quiet strength resonated with him, awakening a long-dormant sense of purpose within him. As the days grew colder and the nights longer, her presence became a source of warmth for him. He found himself lingering by his window, not just to steal a moment of peace, but to share a silent companionship with her. In her steadfast routine, he saw a reflection of his own need for stability and peace. It was during one of these quiet moments that he decided to break his own routine. He stepped out of his apartment, leaving behind the familiar comfort of his routine. He walked towards her porch, each step echoing the beat of his uncertain heart. As he approached, he saw her, not just the weathered face and gentle eyes, but a person, a life, a story. And in that moment, the walls around his heart crumbled, replaced by a burgeoning empathy and a desire to understand. He cleared his throat, unsure of what to say. The silence stretched, thick with unspoken words and years of solitude. Finally, he broke the silence. "I wanted to tell you," he began, his voice raspy from disuse, "that you don't have to keep sweeping. You don't have to do this alone." Her head lifted, her eyes questioning. In that instant, he saw not just an old woman, but a soul that had carried its burdens silently for far too long. With a shaky hand, he reached out, offering her a warm smile, hoping it conveyed the kindness he felt blooming in his chest. He didn't know what to expect, but as he looked into her eyes, he saw understanding. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the street, he sat on her porch steps, sharing stories, laughter, and a pot of hot tea. It was just one conversation, yet it marked the beginning of a beautiful friendship. They talked for hours, the barriers of age and experience crumbling with each shared story. He learned about her life, her joys and sorrows, her dreams and regrets. He discovered a woman of remarkable strength and resilience, a woman who had faced life's storms head-on and emerged stronger each time. And as he listened, he realized he had found more than a friend. He had found a mentor, a beacon of wisdom in the darkness of his own life. Her calm demeanor and quiet strength were a balm to his restless soul, grounding him in a way he had never experienced before. Weeks turned into months, the seasons changing, the years slipping by. Their friendship deepened, their bond strengthened, weathering the inevitable storms of life together. He learned that in the quietest corners of life, the most profound connections can be made. And he realized that sometimes the greatest strength comes from the gentlest of hearts. Life's patterns often surprise us, don't they? Who would have thought that a chance encounter with an elderly woman sweeping her porch could have such a profound impact on a man's life? Our paths are rarely straightforward, and sometimes the most unexpected turns lead us to the most meaningful destinations. So remember, whether you're a dreamer lost in stories or a seeker of peace, the quietest corners of life often hold the loudest truths. If you enjoyed this heartwarming narrative, don't forget to show your support. Your encouragement means the world to us. Thanks for joining us on this journey through life's beautiful twists and turns. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, sometimes the quietest corners of life hold the loudest truths. See you soon.